Media. Amorim's first training session, top session today. Star face emoji, says Marcus Rashford. Top training, says Casemiro. Jurgen, I'm intrigued. When you were coaching the US or at Bayern, would you search social media just to see how players were reflecting on your training session?
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, I was very, very lucky that social media was not there where it is today. I think, it's a tricky thing. You take over a team nowadays, and then, you have all your players being evaluated by social media. They post their things. Probably, anyway, most is very respectful, but you are accompanied always by these comments, by these statements all over the place. So it's not easy. The first couple of days, like for Rúben, it will be at Man United now. It's just to get to know the people you're working with in the future time. The most important people are your players. So get to know them as quickly as you can, understand them a little bit, obviously introduce your coaching staff, then talk to everybody working there at the training ground, and then step by step you can expand a little bit that kind of circle of people. But it's not easy. It's not easy to come in and be effective right away. It will take time. I think he will get all the support from the players he needs. It's more down to the players now than it is really down to the coach, because over the last months or years, it was always the coach being attacked by whatever performance they showed. And I think now the next couple of weeks, they cannot talk about the coach. They really will talk about the players if they prove a point or not.
Imagine that you wish you could go back in time and put out some tweets about some great training sessions that you had during the days.
I could never in any scenario see myself doing something like that. And look, I understand things have changed. Maybe we live in a different era and a different time. Even if it was a great training session, even if it was a top session, you don't put it out there. What is the need to do this? Honestly,
lift morale, lift the fans.
Lift what morale? No. You're kissing Rúben Amorim's backside. Is what you're doing. You're the teacher's pet. And if you go back to, I suppose, what we would call our time, the guys that would do something like this, the next day in the locker room would be called out for it. Yes. Would be called out for it.
Even if we did that about the show, we would be
Yes, and so I suppose Casemiro has achieved whatever he's going to achieve in the game, and I suppose he deserves some respect and appreciation. But everybody knows this, and so there's no need for him to come out and say, hey, Rúben, Manchester United fans, top training session. Here we go. We're trending in the right direction. Guess what? Deliver on the field on the weekend. That's when you do your talking. All of this, honestly, is nonsense. It's teacher's pet stuff. It really is kissing the backside of the manager.
Mario, would you have been teacher's pet, kissing backsides with these sort of messages?
Oh, it was very difficult. My upbringing was too tough. If I would do that, I tell you right now, my friend, I think I would not be able to leave the house. Because he said, it's kind of true. They would put a bucket of ice in front of you, right on where you sit. They put a bucket of ice and let it melt and say, hey, my friend, I think you need to go in there because you're too hot, man, of the way you're thinking. Because this is not possible. I totally understand. You can make comments, but you also have to be careful. You have to be careful when a new coach comes. We all want to do well. We all want to be on the good side. But don't make it too obvious. That's the only thing I want to add to this, what Ali just said.
Listen, there's two things here. And I can hear people saying, oh, you all are old school, you all are dinosaurs. This is how players connect with their fans now.
57.
This is...
Is that how old you are, Shaq?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
To my point. This is what fans are saying, that this is how players interact now. I don't get it. I don't see how this improves anybody's standing, either with their fan base or within the club. And to the point that both Ali and Mario are making, you could not do. I have not sat in a dressing room where this would be okay, right, where this would would just kind of blow over.
Right.
Where you'd put that out and no, but you would get absolutely killed as a result. I have not sat in that dressing room.
Right.
So while we're in a minority in that we've been involved in this game and understand dressing room and dressing room culture, I just don't see how this is okay. And I don't get any argument as to why this is a good idea.
Jürgen, just going back, as you mentioned, of course, Amorim's first couple of days in charge. Just take us through how you would approach it. How are you garnering your information? Are you speaking to everybody you can? Are you speaking to senior players? Are you going through videos? Like, how are you using your time between now and kick-off against Ipswich on Sunday?
Well, I guess every manager has a little bit his own strategy to come into a new environment and do the first couple of days a certain way. I mean, I always try to kind of connect with the players. I mean, now it's an international break. A lot of players are not there, but just have a talk with each one of them as soon as you can. And it doesn't need to be a long talk, but 10, 15 minutes each to get a little bit to pick their brain, to get a little bit their thoughts, to understand them a little bit, how they go through that very difficult period of time at Man United over the last couple of years. And then you work your way through, and then boom, it's already the first game. And you hope that the players are all, obviously enthusiastic to do a reboot, a restart, and that they prove a point. And then you take it one day at a time. But I think communication is certainly key there, and that's what you focus on. It's not so much the tactical work or the physical work. It's really literally to kind of start to connect with everyone at the club, to sense a little bit the spirit that is around the locker room, that is around in the club. Talking obviously then over time then to the people that are employed there, and get to know everybody. And it's a wonderful opportunity for Rúben Amorim. I think he can learn now every day going forward. He has done well with Sporting. He won two Portuguese titles, and he seems to be a very likable and approachable manager. And so now it starts a new adventure for him. And obviously he will make some mistakes like everyone does. And you just wish him best of luck. But his first couple of weeks are really down to talk as much as you can to the people around you, get to know them, and then take it one game at a time.
Jürgen, I'm interested in that 10, 15-minute conversation that you would have with each player. Obviously, you know what you want to hear. Are there things that would cause you to be concerned, like a red flag, for example, if a player comes out and says something?
Well, I think that players nowadays are smart enough. They're not going backwards, and badmouth their previous manager that they have.
Right.
They will more or less, they will try to explain to you that how they kind of approach their life as a professional. What are their routines? What gives them confidence? What don't they like? And you try to figure out a little bit their brains. They won't open too much, because it's a first conversation there, and then obviously over time there will be many, many more conversations to go. In order to create continuity and trust, it sometimes takes years, and that's why I'm really excited about the decision of Pep Guardiola to stay another year or two at Man City, because he's trusted. Everybody knows what he built. Everybody knows what